Hi guys, welcome back to my channel for a not so exciting video, I guess. um, um, I say not so exciting because I've been battling with actually sitting down to make this video. I think I somehow have mustered the courage to do it. And as you would have seen from the title of the video, it's about me basically finding out that I have fibroids. So I want to talk to you about how I found out and how I've been dealing ever since. So because it's an emotional one, I've got my notebook here and I've just, written a few pointers for myself because I know I'll probably get emotional and then leave out some stuff. So yeah, these are just little reminders for myself so that I don't lose track. So yeah, let's get into it, huh? So today is the 15th of January 2024. It's exactly, oh, drop my book there. So, wow. So today is the 15th of January 2024. It's exactly a month since I last saw a doctor. So backstory to this is I got my period on the 7th of December 2023, and the 8th, which was a Friday, I bled through my pants onto my car seat, and yeah, and that prompted me to go to the doctor. So how this happened was I had been on a treatment for my skin for like a year, and I was using a hectic drug. I was on Orotane. I'm just gonna say it. I was on Orotane and I was using contraceptives. And then, after a year, I was like, oh, I'm really done because the drug is really hectic on you. So I decided to stop using the drug. And then a few months later, I just also stopped using the contraceptives because I really didn't like the effects they had on me. So yeah, and I noticed that I started bleeding more. Well, when I was on Orotane, my flow was a bit weird because I don't know what the drug does, but yeah, it wasn't normal. It wasn't normal. The blood looked different and all that. So anyways, I started bleeding heavily. So I thought, okay, heavier than what I was used to before Orotane. And so I thought that it was because my body was trying to work out the drug because I'd been on the drug for like a year. So, a few months went by. Okay, I went to the doctor and I mentioned this to the doctor and she was like, oh no, the drug does that. So yeah, I was just like, okay, fine. I thought it would go away. And fast forward to this year, it's now a year. So I went on the skin treatment in 2021, stopped taking the drug in 2022, September. And so last year, 2023, I went to the doctor somewhere in the middle of the year. I think it was like July or something. I went to the doctor and I mentioned to her that my flow was heavy, and yeah. So fast track to December 8th. It's now become normal for me to use 2 pads at the same time when I'm on my period because my flow is heavy. And this day was no different. So I woke up, I go to work at 8, and I drove to work this particular day because I had errands to run, and so I needed to be mobile. So yeah, put on my pads in the morning per usual and went to work. Around 11, I went to the toilet and I noticed that I bled through my pants, but it wasn't like a massive spot. So I even spoke to one of my colleagues and I asked her to check if my pants were, if the stain was visible. So yeah, changed my pads, by the way. That is 11 o'clock, changed my pads. Went back to work. It was a long weekend, so there was quite a bit to do, and there were a number of errands that I needed to run. One of them being I had to go to the bank. So, because banks close at 3, around 2, I quickly dashed off to the bank. And when I was leaving the bank, I felt like I was a bit wet, but I thought it's probably, I'm just being paranoid, seeing as I saw that I had bled through earlier. So, but anyways, went back to work. Didn't have a chance to even go to the toilet because it was so busy and I had so much to do. So finished up with work around 4, went to an electrical supply shop. I needed to get an electrical cord, a certain length, and then I had to get an adapter and a plug connected to it. So the people in the electrical supply shop said they couldn't help me because they were understaffed, but they referred me to one of their clients who walked in at the moment because electricians would go there. So he gave me his card, I gave him my number, off we went. He needed to do something, I also needed to do something, and shortly before 5 he called me and he was like, no, come meet me at the service station. So I went over to the service station and quickly ran out of the car, gave him the stuff that he needed, and then my phone rang. So I went back to the car to pick up my phone, and when I went back to the car, I realized that my seat was red. It was covered in blood, and I didn't panic or anything. I just took the call and just wanted the guy to finish because I'm far from home. And yeah, so anyways, guy finishes what he was doing and say our goodbyes. Then on my way home, I received a text from him saying, please go home and change your pants because they are stained. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's rather unfortunate because you know what, I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't feel embarrassed about it because it's something that I have no control over. It was like, okay, I don't know. It was uncomfortable for him, I can imagine, but for me, I didn't feel some type of way because honestly, it's not like I did it on purpose. It's, yeah. Anyway, so I came home and the pair of jeans that I was wearing was a jean, like the real jean material and not the stretchy kind. So I came home, which is actually quite thick. So I came home and I took off the jeans and they were wet, they were red. My seat was wet. I was like, what the hell is going on? The pads were soaking wet. So, I was concerned. And so I made an appointment with the doctor for the Wednesday. Got back to work on Tuesday because Monday was a public holiday. Tuesday, made an appointment for Wednesday with the doctor. So Wednesday, I went to the doctor and I spoke to her about what happened. And she was like, yeah, no, it's hormonal. So, we need to regulate your hormones because, yeah, bleeding is, they determine how you bleed and whatnot. So it's like, okay. She's like, okay, yeah, I'll give you contraceptives. Now, mind you, I don't like contraceptives because they mess you up. Like, yo, my guy, you are just not yourself. I don't really want to get into it, but if you've ever been on contraceptives, you know that, yeah, they have a bunch of side effects that aren't generally the best. So yeah, I wasn't really chuffed about getting back on contraceptives. So yeah, she's like, yeah, I'll put you on the contraceptives. I'm like, for how long? She's like, well, it could take like 6 months to a year. So I was like, okay, if it helps, then oh well, I guess it's what I have to do. So she wrote my prescription, and then she was like, okay, just as a precaution, I'll send you for a sauna just to rule out anything. So you can go get the sauna done, and they'll send the results directly to me, and I'll call you back if there's anything wrong. Otherwise, have yourself a Merry Christmas, enjoy your holidays, shop. After the sauna, I go, and so they told me I couldn't do it then because it was around lunchtime. I couldn't do it then because I needed to fast or not eat for like 6 to 8 hours. So they booked me in for the next morning, Thursday, at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock, bright and early, I'm there. They're like, drink your water, your bladder needs to be full. Drinking my water and stuff. And I get into the room where they do the exam, and the lady applies the gel on my stomach or my lower abdomen, and she checks. She's like, oh, what does the doctor want to see? And so she puts the one thingy, scanning thing, I don't know what it's called, man, never been there. So puts it down, and she's like, yeah, it's fibroids. So mind you, when I was going for this test or this exam, I thought there was nothing wrong with me. I thought it was just a routine check, and that I was gonna leave this place and go back to my normal life, start taking these contraceptives to regulate my blood flow. And now she's telling me, no, you've got fibroids. And she's like doing the thing, and she's like, yeah, they're like 6 to 7 centimeters, the big ones, and it's like 11 centimeters, the whole thing. And I'm just there like, this whole time I see it because there's a screen above me. I see what she's talking about, but it's not really registering because I came here just as a precautionary measure, right? So that's her thing, that's her checks, she's talking, and then she starts talking about how, oh, you feel them and stuff. And now, things are starting to make sense somehow, because I would wake up in the morning and I would always feel my lower abdomen, it would feel hard. And I always thought that it was because I needed to pee in the morning, because, I would sleep through the night. So I would need to pee in the morning. And now she's telling me that, no, you actually feel them. And then she's also showing me where they are located. She's like, oh, more towards the right. I'm like, yeah, that's where I would always feel. Guys, don't judge me. I'm an accountant, okay? I did no biology, know nothing about the sciences. So please bear with me. All this stuff, I was just being told. And I didn't know what's what. So finish with my exam, and I go to my car, and then I just cry. I just cried because what on earth? All I know about fibroids is I know that people get operations for them. And now I'm like, so I have to get operated? Anyways, so I call my mom, and my mom is freaking out. And I'm just like, no, it's cool. I'm going to go back to the doctor, because nobody in my family's ever had fibroids, or my immediate family. So we don't know much about them, but we all know that you need to get operated for them. So yeah, go back to the doctors, make an appointment for the next day, which is Friday. I go back to the office, and I call somebody that I know that had been to a gynecologist here in Swakopmund, where I live. And so I get the number, and I go back to the office, and I'm still trying to process this thing, because naturally you would think that I have to see a gynecologist next. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna go back to the doctor tomorrow, we'll have this conversation. And then next day I go. First, I was her first patient. And so she's reading through my results because she apparently didn't get a chance to read through my results. So she's like, oh, kidney's fine, what. And then she's like, oh, you've got fibroids. And I'm just like, okay. I'm thinking, we're gonna get into this and I'm now gonna get an understanding of what's happening. It's like, yeah, you've got fibroids. And I'm like, 6 centimeters. And then she's like, yeah, just take the contraceptives. You don't need to get an operation. They're small. And I'm thinking, hold up. Because a lot of things started making sense after finding out that I had fibroids. And these were the symptoms now, like I picked up weight and my stomach was big and I was peeing a lot, that kind of thing. And I was struggling in the gym. And then this doctor is sitting there telling me, no, it's fine. Just take contraceptives. So I'm like, okay, what are the contraceptives going to do? And she's like, no, nothing. They will just regulate your blood flow. And I'm like, you're telling me that these fibroids are just going to chill in me, be as they are right now, and the only thing that's going to change is how heavy my flow is. She's like, yes. And so I asked, how long do I have to take these contraceptives for? She's like, well, you only have to stop them when you want to have children. And then she draws a diagram there for me. She's like, this is your uterus and yours are on the inside. So you see here where the lining of the uterus is, where the blood pools and collects. So the fibroids have extended that area. So that's why now more blood is collecting there. And that's why you're bleeding so much. I was just like, okay, this doesn't really sound helpful. She didn't seem to think it's a serious thing. So I was like, okay, fine. Went. And then I called the gynecologist, the one whose number I got, made an appointment. Because I went back to the office and I told my supervisor, because, I'm all over the place because I don't even know how to put this thing in order. But so maybe I should just start talking about the symptoms I had. So like I mentioned, I picked up weight and my stomach had grown. So I joined the gym. I started going to the gym because I was not happy about what was happening. Like, I'd never had weight issues. I've always had a small frame and my stomach has always been flat. So when my stomach suddenly started getting in the way of me tying my shoes, bending down was an issue. I was like, what's going on here? So that prompted me to go to the gym. So I joined the gym and, I was really working hard in the gym. You could see the results, like my behind was looking like something and that kind of thing. But my stomach was just not going anywhere. And it was strange because in the past, if let's say I was bloated or something, I would do a few sit-ups and my stomach would be flat. Now I'm here every single day I go to the gym. I'm doing sit-ups, crunches, squats, everything, Russian twist, the jazz, and my stomach is just not budging. It seems to be getting bigger. I started having a muffin top. I was like, what the hell is this? So I wasn't happy. And people would comment about my weight. So I'm sitting on the floor and it's a little uncomfortable. So people would make comments about my weight, and it would kind of get to me, but I believe that it was because I was now older. I thought that my metabolism had slowed down, and that is why I was picking up the weight. And I thought that uh, the stomach was because I ate a lot of sugar, though I had kind of cut down on my sugar intake. I wasn't eating as many sweets as I used to, and I was basically explaining away all the symptoms I had. I started peeing a lot, and I thought, well, I googled it, and they suggested that I take what is it, Himalayan sea salt, which I got, and it kind of helped. So sorry, I'm gonna consult my notebook. So the weight gain, I thought it was my age, my stomach. I thought it was because I ate too much sugar. The peeing a lot, I forget, was it magnesium or something that I apparently didn't have? So that's why I had to take the Himalayan sea salt. And then there was a shortness of breath. Like I live upstairs, so climbing up the stairs, which is just one flight of stairs, I struggled. Like I would come up and I'm breathing heavily, and I thought I blamed this on the sugar intake. I thought, oh no, I'm eating too much sugar. In the gym, I would also struggle, and I would literally tell the biokineticist that I had sweets or something. Like, I would be yawning in the gym, and they would tell you that you're not breathing well, as in like you are not breathing out enough, kind of thing. And anyways, struggled there. I was constipated, and I used to think that it was because I didn't drink enough water. So I got myself a 2-liter water bottle, and I would drink that water, but I would still be constipated, and I would be bloated. Like most of the times I would be bloated, and I thought it was because of how I sat when I ate. And I had back pains, and I thought it was because my posture was not right when I was doing the squats in the gym. Sorry, I have to read these. I had sore feet, and I thought I just wore the wrong shoes. Like even in the gym, I actually even bought new gym shoes because I thought the ones I had were not, good. I would feel nauseated after eating, and honestly, this one I don't even know what I thought, but I would just chew gum after meals, and life carried on. I was tired. I was exhausted. So I would go to the gym, come back from the gym, and I'm really tired, just fall asleep after gym. Waking up was a struggle, and I thought I was unhappy. and I thought it was translating into that. And like I would be trying to watch a movie or something, and I would fall asleep. I started telling people that I don't want to do anything on Fridays because I'm really tired from the week. And I was too tired to eat. I would come back from the gym and I would just fall asleep without eating, and then I thought I was piling on the weight because of that. In fact, when I went to the gym, I thought it was because I had become less active, and that's why I had started picking up weight. And so when I wasn't really losing weight, though I was going to the gym, I thought it was because I wasn't eating right. Like I would come from the gym and then fall asleep, and so my body was turning whatever energy I had into fat. So yeah, anyways, uh and I had this, I don't know what it's called, I don't know if this is what heartburn is, but I felt like there was, like, I would eat and the food would kind of be stuck here with an acid type feel to it, and just, yeah. And I would always get iron supplements, like, from the doctors. So I would do my full blood count, and they would usually prescribe an iron supplement. Last year I got vitamin D as well, and I even started taking vitamin B12 shots. So I was there getting them injections, and yeah, everything, because I mean, like I said, I was exhausted all the time. So I thought I needed an energy boost. And yeah, so I'm going to the gym, and I come from the gym and people are telling me, oh no, you're fat. And this other lady would tell me, yeah, you're just wasting your time, because I would go to the shops after gym. Like, yeah, you're just wasting your time, you're just getting fat, this gym is not working. Even at work, people are like, this gym of yours is not working, what's going on? And looking back now, it really hurts, because in the beginning, when people started commenting on my weight, I charged it to the age. But now finding out that I was piling on the weight because of the fibroids, it really hurts. And the number of people that made comments about it was a lot. Like, almost everywhere I went, people would comment on my weight. And so after finding out that I have fibroids, which was, okay, I found out on the Thursday, I saw the doctor on the Friday, and that was my last day of work for the year. My leave was starting then. I came home and I cried. I spent the first week of my leave at home crying, because it didn't make sense. I didn't have answers. And I didn't want to Google it, because your Google will tell you you're going to die, my guy. So I wasn't ready for that. So I tried to just wait it out. But the confusion was just a lot for me. And because, it didn't affect me before, so I didn't have any knowledge of it. And I came home. Oh, before I forget. I came home, took my ruler to measure 6 centimeters. Okay, the lady said 6 to 7 centimeters, so that's 7 centimeters. I'm just gonna use this for reference. How does this thing go? I lost the other part of it, so I can't. This is 7 centimeters. Okay, let's bring it down to 6 centimeters. This is a stress ball. I'm gonna place this here. 6 centimeters, that's almost, just a little bit. However, if I bring it to 7 centimeters, because she said 6 to 7 centimeters, right? So somewhere in between here. But anyways, for reference, this is what the bigger ones, that's the size of the bigger ones. Let me put it that way. And she said it's 11 centimeters. So that's 11 centimeters. Oh, I forgot. The doctor said my uterus is 140 millimeters, which is essentially 14 centimeters. And the area these things cover is 11 centimeters. It's very close. I have not calculated the percentage they cover, but it is significant. I think somewhere above 70% of my uterus. So yeah, that really hurt. And so I tried to speak to some of my friends that I know have had fibroids before, and so just to get an understanding of what they've dealt with. And so they basically confirmed my symptoms, and now things made a little bit more sense. So they were like, yeah, the weight gain, because they also weren't on the heavy side. They were thin people, but that has changed, and everything else. So now it's confirmed. Now I know what the symptoms are. And my one friend, she was like, please don't get depressed. Try not to isolate yourself. And I didn't understand her. I was like, I'm such a happy person. What do you mean? And in the week that I spent home crying, I then realized what she meant. Because now, when I went out in public and people mentioned my weight, it hurt. It really hurt, because it's not my fault. It's not like I'm eating a lot and I'm gaining the weight or something. It hurt because I had no idea that I was dealing with fibroids all along. And I didn't know, I still don't know how, how to combat the weight gain. And then people started asking me if I was pregnant. And I went to the shop the other day, just before Christmas. Bumped into a male colleague of mine. He was like, oh, you look good. You picked up some weight. Are you expecting? I just walked away, because, the thing is, what do I say to people? Do I have to explain myself to every single person that I come across? And what do I tell them if I have to tell them anything? I've spoken to a few people since going back to work, and I've just come to realize that not a lot of people know what fibroids are. So now imagine I find somebody that thinks I'm pregnant and I tell them I have fibroids. Then they're like, what are those? Then I must explain what they are, when I also don't really know what they are. Okay, fine. I know a bit that it's growths on my uterus. What causes them? I don't know. What's the treatment for them? I don't know. I spoke to a friend of mine, and she was asking me a lot of questions, and I just cried, because I really didn't know. And one of the things that I experienced and I had no idea was, with the lack of energy, I honestly thought I was just being lazy. And I realized that it's because of that. I probably have or had anemia, because after finding out, I realized that, oh, okay, a lot of it, like the shortness of breath and all that stuff, probably has to do with my iron levels. So I started taking iron supplements. And people ask me why I didn't go get another opinion, get a second opinion. This was December. People were on holiday, doctors also. The easiest doctor to see is a general practitioner, which is the one that I saw. And she didn't give me much confidence. So I really wasn't up to putting myself through that again. So I just waited for my appointment, which is actually tomorrow, with a gynecologist. And I wish I had answers. I really do, but I don't have answers. Well, I have a few now that I've spoken to my friends, but you know what? The one thing they tell me is how they've had to get the surgery again. And that's something that I have to deal with now, because there's a very strong chance that I have to get surgery for this. But I don't want to get surgery. And I don't want to keep getting surgery. So, yeah, been stressed about it. And today, which is the day before my appointment with the gynecologist, I'm nervous. I think, and scared, really scared, because I don't know what the gynecologist is going to tell me. Because what does my future look like? I really don't want to get operated on. But I also don't want to look like this. This is what my stomach looks like at the moment. And I really don't like it, because what is this? Like, no. It's a lot to deal with. It's a lot to take in. And yeah, so I'm battling with that. But anyways, the reason I made this video is so that I could probably help somebody out there who's probably in a similar situation, doesn't know what to do, or doesn't even know that they have fibroids. I just want to create awareness, because I went through a lot. That first week of my leave, my hair, I had washed my hair 2 weeks prior, and I didn't even have energy to do my hair. So my hair was just in a mess, and I was wearing scarves on my hair, and I wasn't even moisturizing my hair. My scalp was dry. I had dandruff, and it was just so not like me. And so I spent that week crying at home, and then eventually I pulled myself together, and I thought, let me go get my hair done in my favorite color. So I washed my hair again, rolled it in, because I don't use heat on my hair, rolled it in, made an appointment, went and got my hair done. And when I was sitting in that chair, I wanted to cry. I wanted to break down and cry. And guess what? If you find yourself in a similar situation, do not feel ashamed about crying, okay? You cry, because this thing is hectic. I mean, looking at how my life has changed, how this thing has altered my life, I have to mourn that. I've become a different person. I've always been so full of life and so full of energy, and now it's taken that away from me because I barely had energy for anything. I wasn't doing my outdoorsy stuff. I was at home. I was sitting at home on the couch, falling asleep the whole time. And it hurts. It hurts to look back and realize that this is what was causing it. So if you find yourself in this situation, go cry, 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 let it all out. It will not help you to try and suppress that. Just cry it out, find your strength. I honestly didn't think I'd stop crying because I would just be sitting here and crying. That's all I did. A week straight I cried. And today I felt like crying because now my appointment with the gynecologist is tomorrow, and I know I'm going to get answers, but I'm not sure if I'm ready for the answers. So I wanted to cry, and I called my mom, told her how I felt, and thank goodness for her. She was reassuring, and just there for me, telling me that at least tomorrow I'll get to know what's what, and that I shouldn't feel too bad, that at least I now know. And that's the thing, like, in the beginning people would be like, at least now you know, and I was just like, I would just cry. I was like, yes, I know, but I also don't know. So it doesn't really make much of a difference because I have all these questions and I don't have answers, and it just hurts. It just hurts. The one thing it did is hurt. But there's light at the end of the tunnel. I made it through this video without really crying. I mean, yes, I got teary-eyed, but I didn't cry. So there is hope for you too, and you're not alone. There's a sisterhood out there. So many women are affected by fibroids. And sadly, most don't even get to know, because the thing about fibroids is they could affect your fertility, all the stuff. And I think that's one of the things that hurt about my consultation, my last consultation with the doctor, because like all these things, I mean, I don't know to what extent these fibroids, could affect my fertility, or what exactly is happening to me right now, like what's what. So, but at least I get to see a gynecologist tomorrow. I'll be honest and tell you that I regret not going to a gynecologist before. I mean, so when I lived in Windhoek, I would go to a gynecologist, and I moved out here, smaller town, and I just never bothered to find a gynecologist. So hadn't been to one in like 5 years. And a part of me feels that maybe had I gone to a gynecologist, I would have known. I'm really trying not to blame myself, but it's also not easy. So I don't know, but if you have access to one, please do get checked out, and just get to know what you're dealing with, so that you don't find yourself in a similar position that I found myself. Truly grateful that I've been going to therapy for so long that I wasn't bothered by that. Because, you know, shame is one of those things that hold you back. So, yeah, I didn't feel no shame about it. Um, I struggled with making this video though, because it is me putting myself out here um, to people that I don't know. It's different for you, the viewer, because I put parts of myself out here, and so you can kind of relate to me and who I am. But to me, you, yeah, I I can't find the words, but I don't have anything to go on. So, you know, imagine now I'm sitting here telling you this and how I've I've been going through this. It's a little bit scary, but I'm also grateful that you're there and that hopefully it helps you or somebody in your life, you know. So thank you so much for watching. I will keep you guys posted about how things go. And yeah, see you in the next one.